Welcome to another riveting episode of Beyond Boundaries, a talk show where we bring you the inspiring and insightful journeys of leaders who are changing the landscape of education in India. Today, I have with me an educator with over 30 years of experience in education beyond her professional experience and achievements. Her journey as a writer, speaker, and adventurer, as well as her holistic approach to life and education, are truly remarkable. Please welcome the Director Principal of Seth Anandaram Jaipuria School, Principal Nambia. Ma'am, it is a pleasure to have you with us here today.
Thank you so much. I think I'm also looking forward to some great conversation.
Absolutely, ma'am. So let's start with the early days, the good old days. What insights from while working with the New Model School? What insights you thought this is something that I will definitely do again?
So their education system, of course, the country has got very less kids. Firstly, the number of kids in the classroom is very less. I mean, if you go to Finland, I think you'll find one person on a road. It's like that. And they love dark and grey colors. I still don't know how it's the happiest country, but it is. And because I think they're internally happy. You don't need things to be happy. And what is very unique in their education system is the child is allowed to be able to be himself and discover his innate strength. Where a child is encouraged to question, child is allowed to move around from one place to another. So there is a lot of difference, and that since the numbers are less, the teacher is spending enough time with each child, more focus on personalized attention, more focus on mindfulness, and more focus. The child goes to school at the age of 7. यहाँ की तरह नहीं 2.5 साल में बच्चे को भेज दो, उसको बेचारा अभी दूध पीना नहीं आया पर स्कूल जा रहा है. So वहाँ पे क्या है, because the early education is now, it's very nice that in India we have paid so much attention. The government has moved their prerogative that early education is important.
Shift is happening
it
now.
has happened.
Yeah.
It has happened. But what is because one thing we have to realize that in the early years, the 0 to 10 is a very crucial age where all your attitude and behavior are formed, and you cannot make a difference after that. And that is the time, if a parent has a great influence, and same way a teacher has a great influence. God forbid if you get a bad teacher, you've had it. So it's very important, early education, and I'm really happy that the government has put in now with the NEP a lot of changes which have come in, and I think that is the most beautiful thing which is happening in our country.
You emphasize on child-centered learning. Even while coming into the school, I saw your vision statement over there: happy and confident child-centered. So what does that mean to you, and how do you implement that in your school?
So, our group's mission is very clear. We want a happy, empowered, enthused, excel. Those are the 3 words we use. And the whole idea is that whatever we do, it's around those 3 words. That we must, because if every person
guiding principles, I would
see, every person in the school should know the vision. That's the first thing. Most of the places you go, people don't know what's the vision of your company. They don't know. So whether it's a child, whether it's a support staff, whether it's a teacher, they should know, or a parent. So the vision is plastered everywhere, even in my room at the back, because it's very important that you know where are we heading. So it's like having a goal. If you don't have a goal, I say, to no, hum chal denge ki chalo kahin bhi chal de.
It would be like shooting in the dark.
So what we try and do is we build everything around it. So how do we build empowered classrooms is where children are allowed to question. Like just now, a group of kids came. They've started the anti-bullying squad. They've got their badges made. There's no teacher who's helping them. It's just encouraging. There is a group of kids who run this entrepreneurship program. They are building on a startup which they'll be presenting. So we have a tie-up with this Thorin School of Sweden, Business Sweden. And like we have a Shark Tank, they have something called, I don't know, Dragon something it's called.
Dragons Den, I guess.
Yeah. So our children are creating a project to present there. So we encourage children to do things for themselves.
Based on your experience and taking even classroom, your radio setup here, you're talking to parents on Zoom. What are your thoughts on extracurricular, co-curricular events like Olympiads? Like, do you think, do they have a benefit for a student or a teacher and as a parent, or is it something that's just going on, and everybody is doing it?
See, I tell you, a school runs, right? It has its own exams, final exam, half yearly, which is part of the school. I think the Olympiads, there are so many assets and there are too many of them. I think it creates that sense of excitement. Because firstly, those papers are made by experts. They're not made by a school teacher who's teaching a class. So they give you a very holistic view of the child, where the child is. Because I think now where you are. And a child is able to understand.
Yep.
Our children are very open to it. Our parents are very open. Because it gives them an idea where my child is. Because this part of town is a very academically driven society. So Olympiads are, I always say that it's a good idea.
How do you incorporate student feedback, or is there a process here, like students have a suggestion box in every class, and then you go through that, this is something that we never thought, because you never know where a good idea might come from. So do you have that, or have you?
We have a lot of openness, firstly, I told you. We have a feedback box where children can go and put their ideas, their thoughts, their concerns, anything. They can just put it. Because one I have for myself, where which is if they want to address something to me, they want to write their names, they can write. They don't want to write, they don't write. And
it could be anonymous.
It can be anonymous. And I get so many, you get so many in 10 days. It's like, because it's a huge school and it's so sweet. Some messages will come with just 3 lines. I love you, ma'am. That's it. But it's nice that they're able to.
And that makes your day.
Of course.
Lines.
Of course, the feedback. And I think it's very, what I want is, I don't want children to develop. I think there should be an openness. There should be a transparency where I can go to my teacher and say, listen, I don't understand. I am not understanding, can you repeat this? So that is something which is very important. And of course, teachers also take feedback from the children. Something as simple in a classroom, how was my lesson? I used to do that as a teacher. So how did I teach? Was it good or bad or just okay? So many children will tell me it's okay. Because I said, oh, that means I was really bad. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll come tomorrow and teach you. And it's fine.
That openness and communicating with them.
I, as a teacher, have always done that. And I encourage all my teachers. I will not say everybody does it, but even if 80% teachers do it, I think it's marvelous.
Yep.
I feel, I was reading it somewhere, that, a teacher should not become a friend of a child. Social media. I don't know where I heard.
Okay.
But I think my message to the world is totally wrong. You should become a friend, because then you know your child much better.
Okay.
Because what is important, like let's say I'm teaching you, you're a grade 10 student and you're a very happy child and you write a lot on Facebook and suddenly you stop writing. Now that a warning bell should ring in if I'm a really concerned teacher, okay, what went wrong? Because you have more access to know what their life is, because it is the world now.
Outside the class.
So I think it's very important. I heard in some schools there are restrictions, but I think it's very important to know where the children are, where they are heading. I mean, you don't have to force yourself. Don't go under different names like some parents do. They want to keep a track. I think it's very important to be honest to the child. You're building a sense of distrust by hiding your name and becoming.
So with that note, we'd like to conclude our conversation here with Principal Nambiar. We went through her journey, her ups and downs, what challenges she had faced, how she overcame those challenges, what was strategy behind the success of her school, how she uses her brain to educate her teachers, her management, her students, and her holistic approach to life. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was an honor with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.